Hi everyone, it's me. This is my second video. I'm hoping these videos help someone. But I've been through my estrangement for over a decade, and I remember those first couple of years, although it seems like it's a distant memory right now, where I did everything in my power to try to get my daughters to come back. I made a Facebook page. I wore a t-shirt that said Steffi come home. I begged, I pleaded, I didn't steal anything, but I would have done almost anything to get them back. And like I said before, my oldest daughter came back after a couple of years and then took off again, so that was a double whammy, triple, because both of my daughters estranged over a decade ago, and then oldest came back and left. So I've been through this a couple of times, and I want to say the most dangerous time after the estrangement takes place is when we have too much time on our hands, when we are idle, when certain holidays come up, Mother's Day especially, or Father's Day. And I just want to say, the idle times are absolutely the worst, because that's the time when I was idle that I made the absolute worst decisions regarding estrangement. When I had too much time on my hands, I was only focused on trying to get my daughters back and doing everything in my power to do so. I prayed, I cried, I mailed out packages. I was doing anything in my power. And I guess there is no magic pill for when will I be able to move on, or when will I find joy again, most important. And I think for me, what I looked at is I looked at my life in a series of 2 decades at a time. So between the time I was 1 and 19, going on 20, I was living at home and then joined the military. And then from 20 to 40, I was busy raising my children. And then when I was 40, both of my kids left, and I had to reframe my mind and say, well, now is the time for me. I have been granted a brand new life, and I had to take it in that direction and say, what am I going to do to create the next 20 years of my life and fill that with joy? And so I had to start reframing and looking forward to my future, and realize now I had my own place, and I was able to create a space of my own, which is just for me, myself, and I. Or if you're married, you can create a new space for you and your spouse or your partner. And it's time to declutter. And over time, I ended up taking pictures down of my estranged children when I was ready. And because every time I looked at them, I was sad because they were not there, were not present. So I created a whole new world. like Ariel, a whole new world. Is that Ariel or is that someone else? I don't remember. I watched so many Disney movies in my life, I can't remember. But I just want to say that I had to take the opportunity to realize I was going to write a new book the next 20 years. And I had to create a new space for me, a space that was just for me, myself, and I. The food that I loved would be in the refrigerator, and if I went into the bathroom, it would be available, and my time and my space was now my own. And then it gave me the opportunity to look and say, well, who did I want in my space? And who did I want to allow to take up my time? So I became very picky about the people I spent time with. And they were people I had reciprocal relationships with, and so on and so forth. And I stopped being idle. I filled those idle times up with crafts, with friends, with getting out of the house, even just taking a walk. I do photography. I don't know. And then it came to, I finally realized that I have very little tolerance to Because I've been there, done that, and I've been through the ringer and I'm on the other side, that when I have exchanges with people, they're always positive. And I have a neighbor that walks her dog. We sit and chat, and I tell her about recipes, and I go over by her place once in a great while. I just walk past and say hi. But they're shorter now. The time that I spend with people is shorter, short, sweet, and to the point. And then I realize when I am out, and then since I'm an empath, a lot of people to release their sorrows onto me. I get overwhelmed. My body tells me, okay, my old neighbor would say before I got married, she would say, oh, I can tell you're checking out. And I get to a point where I actually check out. And my body and mind gets exhausted when it's a little bit too much. When someone's dumping on me, I can only take so much. So now I realize I have to be very choosy about who I open, even text messages. When you are an empath or people are drawn to you, you tend to get messages where they want. If you're a problem solver and you've been through estrangement and you've gone on the other side, you'll get messages and long messages about someone who is currently struggling and needs to go in the right direction. So you have to. I try my best to help, but I'm still trying to help myself. That's just hard. But it's about a reframing and not being idle. And when you do have idle times, instead of figuring out how to get your estranged children back, I had to fill my idle time with things that brought me joy. So I hope this helps someone. There is no rhyme or reason to estrangement, but I think for me it was about reframing. And the sooner I filled my life with things that brought me joy and grabbed a hold of the fact that I was allowed the next 20 years of my life by myself, creating a whole new existence, that really helped. And then in the midst of all of that, it was 10 years after my estrangement from my daughters, I met the man of my dreams. But that's because I was in a really good mindset. I wasn't talking about my estranged daughters, and I wasn't, woe is me, or oh, this and that. I was in a really good mindset, and I had positive things to bring to the relationship, which helps with every relationship that I have now. So I just wanted to say this might help someone, and it might help you. So let's get up and keep going and fill our idle times with positive and healthy things. So hope this helps, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye-bye.